A KREM 2 weather alert tonight, just months after a major windstorm caused widespread damage across the area. High winds once again moving in. We're tracking wind speeds, damages, and outages. And over in Indiana, a celebration tonight. The Zags checked another box in a historic season, defeating the Creighton Blue Jays, moving on to the Elite Eight in the NCAA Championship.
They're fired up for the next challenge.
We'll have a reaction from Mark Few and his players, plus a live report from Indy tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Good to have you here with us on KREM 2 News at 6. I'm Tom Sherry.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Whitney Ward. We have a ton to get to tonight. We've got team coverage of all things Gonzaga, as well as this potentially damaging windstorm that is still hitting our area. So our crew in Indianapolis is ready to break down the big game. We also have crews spread out around the region to bring you the very latest on this storm. But we want to get right to weather right now. And of course, Tom, we want to talk about what is still ahead of us here over the next couple of hours, because it's not over yet, is it?
No, not at all. We think the strongest winds may be up through 8 p.m., but the high wind warning, as you can see, everywhere shaded in brown right there, is in effect through 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. 50 to 65 mile per hour winds, could even exceed that. Also, a winter storm warning in the Cascades. Be aware of terrible travel conditions across the higher elevations. You can see the peak wind gusts recorded today have been in Spokane, as well as down in Yakima and even Walla Walla. Saw wind gusts today in the lower 50s. And again, continued windy weather. Now, this computer model actually shows the winds actually increasing in intensity overnight into tomorrow morning. So we're not out of the woods yet. We've got strong damaging winds across the area, which are causing blowing dust. We have blowing dust warnings in effect. Freeways, I-90 has been shut down between Ritzville and Moses Lake. That's the last word that I've received. Tonight we'll look for an overnight low of 29 because this is a cold front moving through. We'll go from a high of 58 today to only a high of 48 tomorrow. Numerous power outages being recorded across the area. And again, it looks like we're going to be seeing continued wind damage this evening and overnight. So with that high wind warning in place for most of the area, we want to get more storm coverage from meteorologist Thomas Patrick, who is live in our...
Yeah, and as I stepped out here, it did seem like the winds just started to calm down a little bit, but those gusts have been intermittent and they're still quite strong from my left to the right, which is west to east across our outdoor weather center. And we will be kind of on our guard through the morning hours. But if you compare this windstorm to the one we felt back in January, it hasn't reached quite to that strength. More on that comparison in a bit. But here are the big implications with this windstorm that we're going to experience for not just a couple more hours, but the overnight hours tonight. Watching for tree damage, which we've gotten some reports of tree branches down, especially in the Hayden area. That was our latest report. Power outages, a couple thousand people without power as of this hour. The dust, the blowing dust, and the dust storms, which have closed part of I-90 between Moses Lake and Ritzville, as you mentioned, Tom. That is still ongoing at this moment. And just overall bad travel implications. The bad crosswind makes it difficult to even just hang on to the car. So if you don't have to go anywhere for tonight, definitely recommend that you just hunker down and stay off the roads and even stay away from some windows just in case, as we are on Gare. Here is what I-90 looked like at about 3 o'clock today. You can see the lower visibilities of the dust storm which caused the road closure in the first place. This actually extends through most of the Columbia Basin. We take a trip down to the Tri-Cities, you can see all this blowing dust. Again, creating low visibility, not unlike if it were just foggy outside or if it could have been a blizzard as well. But so far the wind speeds haven't been quite as strong as they were back in January, where we saw hundreds of trees down across the city, including many of the area parks. But nonetheless, we're on guard and we'll be keeping an eye on the power outage situation as well as any more damage that might be a result of this windstorm. For now, let's go back inside where we find Tim Pham.
All right, Thomas, thanks so much. We do want to get to more breaking news now. Conditions still very dangerous. The dust warning is causing major problems on the roads. Right now, I-90 is closed near Moses Lake and Ritzville. We've also learned the low visibility caused a pileup near Tri-Cities. Now, this happened near Richland. WSP is investigating a 7-car crash on I-182 in the westbound lanes. Right now, we are told that the left lane is back open and troopers say only minor injuries are reported. Well, take a look at this incredible time-lapse video we've received. You can see people pulled over onto the shoulder because drivers simply can't see in front of them. WSDOT says conditions are getting worse by the hour. Right now, law enforcement is also asking people to stay off the roads if possible. No word on when I-90 will reopen, but based on the latest track, it could be a while. We've also learned more customers throughout the inland Northwest are without power. We've actually just received new numbers and we've eclipsed the 10,000 mark. So 10,000 customers across our region are without power right now. So let's break down what we know. Right now, Avista reporting 4,400 customers without power. Kootenai Electric has 3,000 and Inland Power and Light has just under 3,000 customers without power. So that number continuing to climb by the hour. The National Weather Service extended the dust storm warning until 6:45 this evening. So we're going to keep a close eye on road conditions and keep you up to speed. Whitney?
All right, Tim, thank you very much. It's a lot of information, and we know that it's going to continue for a little while longer. Still coming up here in just a few minutes, we also have crews tracking the damages from this storm so far.
In the meantime, stay up to date with the latest information about power outages and damage across the region. Just download our app, our KREM 2 app.
And of course, the other big story that we are tracking tonight, just hours ago, the Gonzaga men's basketball team advanced to the Elite Eight. That means they will play again on Tuesday. And as we've been saying, if that undefeated streak continues, they will be in the Final Four by this time next week.
So we want to turn back to Mark Hanrahan and Brenna Green, who are in Indianapolis, where it is very cold tonight, and the Zags continue to make history.
A little chilly tonight, Tom. Yesterday was beautiful, and we were just talking about that all day, and today, not so much. A little chilly and windy this morning, but the good news is it's a good day to be a Zag. Gonzaga absolutely handled Creighton today, beating them 83-65. They took over in the first half and never really looked back.
Yeah, we're getting through this weather, Tom. We're getting through it. We can't show you highlights from the game tonight due to broadcast rules. Those highlights cannot air until 10 p.m. our time, but what we can show you is the team's reaction after the game. I was able to speak with Mark Few and Andrew Nimhard, and of course, they were a very happy bunch.
It's just like playing in the park with a bunch of guys that click so well. So it's been really fun.
Gonzaga's passing ability was on full display against Creighton as the Bulldogs assisted on 23 of their 34 made shots and had some incredible dishes along the way.
It's probably our best attribute. You know, it's the reason why we have such good balance, and it's the reason why we scored so well in the paint. They're really, really good at it, and I mean that sounds simple and corny or whatever, but it's not just delivering the ball, but the context with they're making the decision with. They all have really good feel for the game.
With their win, the Zags also advanced to their 4th Elite Eight in the last 6 NCAA tournaments.
It's hard. It's hard to get to this tournament, and it's hard to win games in it. And it's something that I'll never, ever take for granted. And I just I'm so proud of our guys, all our guys over the years, and just been blessed to be a part of these groups that do know how to get it done and win games in this thing.
Of course, this year's Elite Eight feels a bit different with an undefeated season also in the wings. But according to Andrew Nimhard, the Zags have greater goals than even winning. Winning is just a byproduct of what their goals are.
We're not too satisfied about like winning a championship. What we do with each other and how we make each other better, that's what we're more satisfied with every day. And so I don't think we see too much pressure in it. And also at this point, every team has to go undefeated now to win the tournament. So it's not really pressure to keep that streak.
In fact, the biggest pressure for Mark Few and company, well, it'll give you all the feels.
The biggest place it comes from is you don't want it to end. You know, I mean, our team just absolutely, I mean, I bet if you asked them, they wish they could play 25 more games together.
Getting you in the feels. Gonzaga is awaiting the winner of USC and Oregon. That game still hasn't even tipped off yet. By the way, advantage Gonzaga there on that one come Tuesday. They're going to have way more rest time. And we're still waiting to see if UCLA can also make another move to the Elite Eight and become another West Coast team to get in to advance in the bracket.
Yeah, can we just be done talking about Big Ten basketball and talk about West Coast basketball for a moment, right? Regardless of who wins,
Bye.
USC or Oregon, it's going to be a West Coast matchup, and that's good news for us, of course.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tom, Whitney, back to you guys.
We like the way you're thinking,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
right.
I think that's a great idea.
Absolutely. As Walton says, the Pac-12 Conference of Champions.
There you go. I love that. All right, we are going to continue tracking Gonzaga basketball. We're also going to continue tracking this incredibly strong windstorm that is moving through the area. This is a look outside over Coeur d'Alene right now.
Yeah, it is blowing out there, folks. We've got live crews breaking down all the storm damage and the power outages throughout the area. That and your complete forecast next.